Milo, is that you?
There, I think I got it. Marcus?
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. How's my FM radio voice doing?
It's even better than your AM radio voice.
Mounds of sounds and stacks of wax.
That's right.
I've told you this story. I know I've told this. Do we have time for a short story?
Well, of course. Why not?
Okay. Bruce Armstrong used to be our radio salesman at my business, and it turned out his father had owned a local radio station in a couple of towns away, and another town, and his dad sold them, and he didn't want to get out of the radio business, so then the local station hired him as a DJ, but he got tired of getting up early in the morning, so he became a salesman. And then once I found out, I wouldn't buy anything, I wouldn't buy any commercials unless he would say, mounds of sounds and stacks of wax. and he was quite happy to do it because he had a really good radio voice. So anyways.
Selling the lingo, huh?
Yeah, exactly. It's all about the lingo. I miss the lingo days. We need lingo. All right. So this is us introducing a podcast all about the 250th celebration at the North Carolina Transportation Museum. And the reason we're having this little intro before we start the actual show is two reasons. Number one, I forgot to mention White Rose Hobbies right there in York, Pennsylvania at 4401 Market Street. I forgot to mention them until we were two-thirds of the way through the show. I don't know why I can't remember because they're a great sponsor, Ryan and Tom, and they're great sponsors, and we really like having them as sponsors, and I continually forget to talk about them at the start. So, Marcus, what I need you to do is record an actual, a commercial.
We could probably do that sometime.
But we need words.
Okay.
We need jingle. We need a jingle.
Does that mean we need a script also?
I think you kind of do, don't you, for commercials?
Yeah, I think you do.
I mean, when I write my radio commercials for my business for the actual radio station, we actually have to do commercials. But usually that's me and Barb standing at the counter, scribbling stuff down. And they're usually pretty goofy commercials. One day I will play the RV commercial that we did that I still have.
Is that there an RV?
That there's an RV. But don't you go fall in love with it, Don. I'll be taking it with me when I leave here next month. So our sponsor for the Modeler's Life podcast is White Rose Hobbies, and their URL is whiterosehobbies.com. They're in York, Pennsylvania, downtown York, Pennsylvania. Actually not, they're on the west side, but I say downtown York, Pennsylvania, on Market Street, and they're just down the road from
the Ben Franklin RV Park.
Exactly. But during this lengthy podcast that everybody's about to listen to, you had quite a long list of things you had to mention, and we were talking about all the sponsors you had, such as Scale Trains, and I'm typing. Oh, there it is. Here it's coming up. You can talk, Marcus, because you're actually working there.
Yes. So we have presenting sponsors for the event.
Oh, presenting sponsors.
Presenting sponsors, which are Trains Magazine, White River Productions, Scale Trains, and Virtual Railfan. And I talked a lot about that, but we also have other sponsors that are very much involved, and actually we picked up some. So
can
I
I
wanted
ask
to make
you,
sure we got that mentioned. Can
I ask you a question?
Go right ahead.
You seem opposed to mentioning Jack and Audrey Harris.
Oh, no, I'm not at all. Jack and Audrey Harris is another. They are some great great contributors to the museum and supporters of the museum, and they're also helping us in great ways for this event.
So, do they usually show up to these events that they like to participate in?
Absolutely. Yep, they're there quite often. So they are actually more automotive related people, that they love autos and trucking, but they also enjoy the trains and everything else that we do.
So can I assume that Jack and Audrey own some sort of a trucking company? No.
No.
Okay. All right. They just love trucking. All right.
They're
So,
just
okay. So we mentioned Trains Magazine, White River Productions, which of course produces Railfan and Railroad and Railfan. I can never remember.
yes, most of the time it's Railfan and Railroad.
Okay. And Scale Trains and Virtual Railfan. And is that it? Have we mentioned all the sponsors?
Jack and Audrey Harris,
Oh yeah.
presenting sponsors, and then Visit Rowan County, which is our local tourism development authority, is a sponsor of ours and is always a huge supporter of the museum's events.
What county?
Rowan County, North Carolina, where Salisbury and Spencer are located.
Oh, Rowan, like
It might look like Rowan, but it's Rowan County.
Okay, it's like Rowan and Martin, Dick Martin and Dan Rowan.
Laughing.
So everybody says Rowan instead of Rowan.
It's Rowan and Salisbury. And when we moved here, we thought it was Rowan. And of course, we thought it was Salisbury, but we got corrected on both of those when we first moved to the area.
So that's Rowan County, and they're also partly a sponsor. And then Berkshire Station, what's that?
Berkshire Station is a hobby shop that is in Iron Station, North Carolina, which is over toward Lincolnton, Mooresville, Lake Norman type area, really out in the country. But Berkshire Station is growing as a hobby shop, and they're also doing a lot of special runs on equipment. So they did like a special run, Winston-Salem southbound caboose that we have at our gift shop, or will have at our gift shop, and a Norfolk and Western GP9 that we have in our gift shop in O scale. And those are MTH models. So MTH Electric Trains also joined on as a sponsor. And finally, Walthers. Walthers just recently joined as a sponsor too. So I wanted to get those in there as well because I mentioned our presenting sponsors to begin with, but I want to make sure to also mention and thank all the other sponsors that are involved in this event.
Would you like me to tell you one of my most annoying habits that my wife hates?
Go ahead.
She says one of my most annoying habits that she hates is that I will point out to people, well, you could have done it this way.
Right.
So I'm on the event page for this particular event at the North NC Transportation Museum.org. And then there's right at the top of the page, it says events and activities. You go to a calendar page, you click on this particular event, which is at the end of August. And there's a really good page, blah, 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 blah. And so then I scrolled down to the bottom of the page, and there's all the event sponsors. And I went, oh, Rowan County, I'm going to click on that. And it doesn't, nothing.
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. Maybe we should get our webmaster after that.
Yeah, see, I think that would have been really cool if you could have clicked on.
Well, there's like that stay and play package that's on the website is that you can get a link for the Rowan County tourism off of that because it's a hotel package. But I think maybe the theory here is if you click on those logos, it might take you to, it'd be nice if it would take you to those other pages, but it also pulls you away from the event that we're trying to get you to buy tickets for. So,
see, that's a marketing ploy.
Yeah, maybe so.
Well, that's probably pretty smart. See, that's why I think that's why it annoys my wife is because I don't think things through, and I just go, if you clicked on these things, but of course, you have a very good reason why not to. So it's Trains, White River Productions, Scale Trains, Virtual Railfan, Rowan County, Rowan, in North Carolina, be an original. Berkshire Station, which is a hobby shop, MTH Electric Trains, which lots of people know, and now Walthers, which everybody knows is in Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And Jack and Audrey Harris.
And probably like MTH Trains and stuff and Walthers stuff you could buy at White Rose Hobbies, right there at whiterosehobbies.com.
I bet you could.
All right. I think we're done for this part. Well, we'll come back at the end of the very end of the program, and we'll say it again just so everybody remembers.
All right, cool. Do I get to do the thing now?
Yep, do it now.
Subway chimes go.
David.
Lionel.
David.
Lionel.
Guess who I was just talking to?
You were just talking to Marcus in the hallway before we came into the studio.
True enough. Yes, I was.
But was there somebody else?
I was talking to a future guest on the old AML podcast, Ron Flannery, who is a photographer extraordinaire, and I'd heard of his name many, many times over the years. But then when we were talking to Blair Koistra, His name came up. It was because he stayed with Ron on one of his days on his 37-day trip around taking pictures. So that's how his name came up. Then Marcus said something. So then I started looking at his Facebook page, and his photography is fantabulous. So then thanks to Marcus, I got a hold of him, and now he's going to come on the podcast.
Wow. Good job,
Awesome.
Marcus.
Yeah, he's going to be an interesting guest.
Yeah, I told him he's going to be on he'd be prepared to be on for more than one episode, maybe several. Because I was just thumbing through his Facebook page, and I came across this picture from the clinch field from 1979, and I asked a question, and it's like, well, we talked about that for 5 minutes, and I thought, well, hell, we could just have our podcast right now, except the recorder's not turned on, and there's nobody here. But other than that, so it's going to be
the first time I ever met him was for a multimedia slideshow that was done years ago, back before digital photography. He and David DeVault, who I'm sure he'll talk about, I would imagine, he's since passed away, but two prolific photographers from the Appalachian region, and it was a fantastic slideshow. Clinchfield and any of the Appalachian coal hauling railroads. It was great.
Yeah, and now he's in the process. He said when he originally started, most of his stuff was black and white before he went to, as he called them, transparencies. I call them slides. So now he's in the process of colorizing a lot of his photos, and they're just unbelievable. They're just like fantastic to look at. I don't understand what it is. What were you going to say, David?
I was just going to say that's got to be a very neat process to go through and colorize black and white photos, and
especially when they're your own photos that you've taken 60 years ago.
Right. And just like, does it jog your memory just as when you took the photo, or how true to life does it really feel, or does it put a little tear in your eye when you see that perfect photo that you took and you see it in color?
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so tonight we're joined by, that voice you heard was David Lund, and then we're also joined by Marcus Neubacher, a.k.a. the Noob, a.k.a. the AML Nation's most eligible bachelor. We're joined by the AML Nation's resident medical person, a doctor, our resident doctor, Doc Gartner, a.k.a. Seth Gartner.
Don't come calling for work.
And it's Gartner. It's not Garner. It's Gartner.
That is correct.
It's Gartner. Unlike my friend John, who is Garner. So it's like when I said my friend's name, John Garner, it's kind of like your name, only when you pronounce Toronto. With John, the T was silent. With yours, the T is there, and it's meant to be pronounced.
Just enunciate it. Toronto.
Yeah, see. So okay, how would you know if somebody isn't from your family by the way they say Gartner?
I haven't really seen them before. They just look like a stranger.
Yeah. I don't recognize you. How do you say Gartner? How do you say your name? Seth? Don't say Seth. How do you say
Seth.
How do you pronounce your last name?
I would say Gartner.
Gartner. Okay.
Just
Gartner.
With a chop in it.
Yeah, okay. So you say the first part. Take a pause. Gartner. That's the key. When you don't pause, you just go Gartner. Because if you make that microsecond pause, then it really sounds like you have no idea what you're doing.
Or you're overthinking it.
Yeah, you're overthinking it. And then we also have joining us is Roger Coleman.
Yeah, just like it looks. Yeah.
Yeah.
Coleman.
Why do you have the D and some people don't?
I don't know. You'd have to ask my dead parents.
Did you never?
It's always been a bane of my existence because no one ever spells it correctly. So.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
That's like my wife's name is Anne with an E. And it's like nobody ever rarely does somebody get the E on there, and it's like, and she's
that's a nice spelling of Anne.
Oh, it's the correct spelling of Anne.
That's right.
Yeah, But her name is like, neither one of us use our actual name when we go to like Chick-fil-A and they want a name for the, to who to call out to. She uses Sally and I use Nick.
Nick. I'm going to start calling you Nick from now on.
Yeah, that's Nick. Because nobody will, like, Lionel. What? Lionel. How do you, you know what? Just say Nick. How about you, Marcus? I'm sure everybody pronounces your last name correctly.
Yeah, you look at it sometimes. Neubacher, they get lost sometimes. So
Yeah, and then they got to spell it.
Right. And it's completely wrong most of the time. Every once in a while, I'm impressed. I'll get somebody that spells it right. And I found out a couple of years ago, there's another guy with the last name Neubacher that lives here in China Grove, who I don't know. And I have no idea. We're not from here, so I don't know how in the world there could be another Neubacher living 5 miles from me that I'm not related to somehow. Got to be.
What if he's your long lost twin?
Yeah, could be. I don't know.
Do you get his mail?
More importantly, David, when I find out there's somebody with the last name Strang, the one thing I'm mostly interested in is, do they have any money? Are they rich? Because if they're rich, there's a possibility I'm related.
If not, just keep walking.
Yeah, just keep on moving, buddy.
The bus is that way.
Yeah. Okay, so tonight's subject is, or today's subject, or this morning's subject, or on your way to work subject, is the 250th celebration that's happening at the North Carolina Transportation Museum on August 28th and 29th.
And 30th.
And 30th.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I'm on the page now that features. I'm on the North Carolina Transportation Museum page, nctransportationmuseum.org. And why is it .org?
Because we're organized.
There you go. So then I clicked on, so then if you go there and you go to events and activities and just scroll through the calendar, boom, there's a link to all the activities that's happening this month. Now, Marcus has promised that we can pretty much ask him any question, and he has no problem answering it.
Right, sure. Why not? I'm an open book.
You getting a pay raise after this?
Yeah, like for example, how much is it going to cost you? Blah 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 blah.
Right.
A good question though. I was thinking that one question I can ask that is, I think, a really good place to start. How in the world did you manage to organize this? Were you getting, how many, would you say the other night, 36 locomotives are showing up?
It's around 36. It's fluctuated a little bit. Sometimes it drops to 34, then it's up to 35, and it's all dependent on some railroads' participation based on their traffic levels and whatnot. But we're looking at around 3 dozen locomotives. So I'm going to say, let's just say over 30.
That's what I was going to say. So it's probably going to be over 30 locomotives from around the lower 48. Correct?
Yeah, it is. And it's a big undertaking for sure.
Is there going to be some from like Europe and Australia and other continents, or is it just the lower 48?
Canada, if you count the Canadian National and Canadian CPKC locomotives that are attending. So yeah. They're in on this too because they have lines that operate in the United States now. They've got locomotives also that are painted for the celebration of America 250.
Well, for those who don't know, I'm a native Canadian, and I'm pretty sure that eventually CP and Canadian National is going to own most of the railroads in the United States.
Own the world, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the plan, anyways. Do you think it has anything to do with the fact that I worked for Canadian National Railroad for 3 years when I got out of high school?
Yeah. I think it has everything to do with it.
Yeah, that's what I think. Maybe it was 4 years. It was 3 or 4 years. That was crazy times. I got out of high school. I worked for one job, and then I somehow got this summer job for working for the Canadian National Railroad. Then I got hired on full time, and they were paying like for 1972. They're paying ridiculous amounts of money, and I'm like, man, did I ever fall into it? And then eventually that part of the railroad went out of business.
Yeah, sheer coincidence.
Yeah,
Your services are no longer needed.
Yeah, exactly. So, okay. So how did you manage to see now, Marcus was worried that we'd have trouble filling up the time, and we haven't even got past the first question yet. We're 12 minutes in and we're not even past the first question. So how did you, what was the, because you are the director of administration for the North Carolina Transportation Museum
Foundation.
I thought it was.
You were so close. You got it. You got all of it. I just interrupted you right
last
at the
time I
end.
said you were the director of the foundation for the museum, and then that was.
That's right.
You said, no, you said.
Well, it's director. I'm not the director. I'm the director of administration. There's a directors of other things.
Exactly. Right. So I got it wrong.
There's like a director of special events, a director of development, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So is it basically just a cushy government job where you work like 3 hours a day and get paid ridiculous amounts of money?
It's absolutely not a government job. It's a nonprofit job. We support the state museum and work alongside the folks that work at the museum. So it's all hands on deck all the time. And really, we get our paychecks from two different sources, but everybody does everything pretty much, down to yesterday, pulling weeds and painting steps and all kinds of things, getting ready to spruce up the place a little bit for a big event coming up.
Okay. Roger, you're a worldly gentleman. Can I ask you a question?
Certainly.
How many people do you think I insulted with my last comment?
All of them.
Yeah. So did you wake up bolt upright one day and go, wait a minute, it's the 250th celebration. Let's get as many locomotives here as we can. Or how did the idea, what was the seed for the idea? Idea.
So we did want to do something big for the 250th. But this was not something we really dreamed we would be able to do. But there were two previous events at the museum in 2012 and 2014 with large locomotive gatherings. And the first one was the Norfolk Southern Heritage event in 2012, and the second one was the Streamliners at Spencer event in 2014. So some folks within the railroad industry knew we had done this type of thing before and kind of started having an idea. And Trains Magazine back in 1975 had run a picture of some locomotives, bicentennial painted locomotives in Chicago's clearing yard. It's an aerial photo of, it was 8 or 9 locomotives, all painted for the bicentennial in 1975. The photo was taken in 1975, but it was for, of course, 1976. And the idea came out of, wouldn't it be cool to do something again like that, except make it bigger and make it someplace where the public can attend, since obviously the public couldn't walk in the middle of a rail yard and see these locomotives together. So Trains Magazine was big in, wanting to replicate this. And we work with their editor, Bill Stevens, who's been fantastic to work with, as he kind of helped gather interest from the railroads. And then Railroad Model Craftsman, not the Railroad Model Craftsman, sorry, Railfan and Railroad came on board because they are going to do the night photo session part of it. So Jim Boyd and Otto Vondrack will be here for that. White River Productions, who owns Railfan and Railroad, they're a big part of it. Scale Trains and Virtual Railfan. So with all those folks together, it kind of all started to come together. It took a while, but it came together. And
are Jack and Audrey Harris helping you at all?
They are some fantastic museum supporters of ours, yes, and they are helping us as well.
Okay. Now, you know that your life story is probably one of my central focus of the reason I get up every day.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't remember specifically if you were a full-time employee during 2012 and 2014.
I was not. I was actually a volunteer for those two events. So I showed up on my day to do what they wanted me to do, which was to MC the event and talk about the locomotives as they were put out on the turntable. And that was my involvement. And I kind of helped follow the engines as they were coming in, helped write up some things about the locomotives, especially for Streamliners. some historic things, and maybe went out and took some pictures as they were approaching. But all of it was volunteer based instead of working the event. So I'm definitely seeing the other side of it, all of the coordination that takes place to get ready for something like this, especially on pretty short notice, because it wasn't until about 6 weeks before the event that we were a definite go on making it happen.
Wow.
Wow, that's a short window. Now, do you feel like you're going to be a help, or just basically a solid brick getting in the way?
I'm kind of in the way, right? So,
so okay, let me ask you a question. Like, I remember asking you during that event, were you kind of awestruck as all the locomotives and everything were there? Like, are you kind of like, is the excitement building as it gets closer and closer? We're only a few days away now, and like now you're kind of starting to realize, wow, we're almost recreating what we did back in 12 and 14. And because this is like over 30 locomotives from different railroads. It's pretty cool. So are you getting, kind of tingly all over knowing that now this time you're a full-time employee, you're behind the scenes, you're part of the organization? Does it feel like the 2012 and 14 events?
Yeah, and it's neat to see them as the locomotives are now en route, to be able to see them coming. The other night we were headed to a baseball game, and I just happened to know that the northbound train that terminates at Linwood, which is near the museum, would have the Santa Fe SD 45-2 in it, which is coming from the Southern California Railway Museum. So yeah, it was neat to go out and see that engine. I mean, who would have ever thought you'd see that engine in North Carolina? And a lot of these other engines too. The Wheeling and Lake Erie came in the other day, and that one is one of my favorites. And there's more that are on the way. That it's really kind of, as they start to now show up, which they're not at the museum yet, but as they start coming into the area, it's very exciting to see happen.
And Linwood Yard is Norfolk and Southern Yard, which is basically to the east of Spencer Shops, not that far east, just a little ways to the east, and that's where all the locomotives are being stored until they're brought into the museum. Is that correct?
Well, that's where they will go before they get sent to the museum. So how long they'll be there, I don't know for sure.
Right. Well, I'm not. Yeah. Now, that wasn't a bad question. That was just a general ballpark question. And by the way, we had invited Dustin Witten to be on with us tonight, who also works at Linwood Yard as a locomotive engineer, but he absolutely refused. I begged him and begged him and begged him, and he said, "Nope, I don't want to be on your podcast tonight. Not if, not if that potty mouthed Roger's going to be there."
Yeah.
It must be. I'm really bummed that I can't go, because I'm thinking, man, that'd be cool. Not only could I go, but I would know one of the bigwigs at the museum. So, okay, can you tell us which railroads kind of initiated the whole plan? Because, I mean, talk about logistics. Trying to get 30 different railroads to send their locomotives must have been something. Can you give us a hint of who was in charge of the logistics of contacting everybody?
It was a group effort by a lot of railroads, but definitely the person who was keeping the master spreadsheet was with Trains Magazine, Bill Stevens. He was the one reaching out to the PR people at each of the railroads, helping to get confirmations of who was coming and all of that. So
okay, so it was Trains Magazine was kind of like the point man.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just kind of pictured for a kid's party where you put out the little birthday invites and please RSVP by this date.
Will you bring your locomotive?
Are you going to have a bouncy castle?
If you were coming, I would have done that.
Well, the thing I'm really looking to is the drone flights. I was disappointed I won't get a chance to fly on a drone.
I know. That's going to be fun. We talked about drones, and drones are a big thing, obviously, right now. And we were worried, really, that we'd have way too many drones in the air. In fact, there are definitely restrictions against them with the state property. So
hang on a minute. We're not going to just pass over my drone. I was hoping to get a ride on a drone flight. Like, come on, you can't just pass over that. I even texted that to you when you were having a panic attack about the questions I was going to ask you. So the drone tickets it says here the museum will be offering drone tickets for limited 5-minute drone flights at the Bob Julian Roundhouse on Friday and Saturday. The dates during the American 250 locomotive. So it doesn't say about flying them. It just says a drone flight. So I was assuming that I would get a ride on a drone. So operators of the drones must have completed the recreational UAS safety test or have proper FAA Part 107 authorization to fly the drone and must comply with all requirements. Like, are you going to have that just sounds like it's going to be a Wreckham Derby at a county fair.
That's why we're doing a limited number, and it's like going to be for an hour, and I think we have 48 slots available, and someone is going to be there to say, all right, this group of however many, 4 or 6 or whatever, can go up and then come down, and the next group goes up, because it's a concern. And one of the reasons we're doing it this way is because of regulations against flying over crowds. This will allow us to keep the people back. They won't be flying over crowds, and there'll be some control over the use of the drones. Because there are concerns about just drones in a crowded situation like this.
You know what you need, Marcus?
What's that?
You need to have Kelly come with his radar gun.
There you go. You can clock them.
Yeah.
Hey, Doc, are you going to go to this thing?
I am. I got a ticket. I even joined the museum.
Attaboy.
Thank you.
Are you taking your drone?
No, because I really don't have a drone.
Okay. Okay, let me ask you I need an honest answer on this question, Marcus.
Mm-hmm.
If I showed up with a drone, would you let me have a ticket? Would you let me
buy
fly?
a ticket? Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still for sale.
And how much is it? How much are the drone? Oh, $50.
$50, yeah. And I had a guy call me today and ask if his son could buy 2 and get 10 minutes. And I said, well, sure. If that's what he wants to do. So, yeah.
Huh. That's going to be... So do you have somebody designated to be in charge of the drones?
Yeah, with so Railfan and Railroad is in charge of the night photo session, and that's going to take place between the day event ending and the night photo session starting. So they're going to be there to, to control the drone flights and all, and to tell everybody when they can go and fly and come back down and all of that. So it's going to be hopefully very organized, because I think they'll have it under control.
Who's running that part again? Sorry.
Railfan and Railroad,
okay.
Jim Boyd.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is Jim Boyd going to be there?
He is.
Wow. Because I wouldn't know if you'd want to have Otto Vondrack in charge of the drones.
Otto's going to be there.
I know he's going to. I'm sure he's going to be there. Are you kidding me? I couldn't. Roger, are you going?
No, I'm not.
Did you go to Chattanooga?
No, I did not.
Have you been out of your house?
Yes, I have.
Attaboy. Hey, you should...
Roger, since you're not going, and for others that aren't going, please come if you can come, because we'd love to have you. But Virtual Railfan is also going to be live streaming the event. So, that's going to be really cool. Yep.
And will that be free for people just to go on Virtual Railfan and see it?
It's going to be on their YouTube, I believe, so that it will be, it'll be available to their members, but also on YouTube. So yeah, you should be able to at least see portions of it. I don't know all the details of that, but yes, there should be some of it that'll be free.
So where are most of these locomotives going to end up in the, like, how many tracks are in the roundhouse?
So we can get 22 engines, I believe, around the whole turntable. And then the other engines will be on other tracks throughout close by on the museum property. So, it's going to be interesting. There'll be engines everywhere, but we'll move them around and get them repositioned to where there'll be certain groupings of maybe like all the class 1s together, and then the short lines, and then maybe some special pairings that we want to do.
So, now this is going to be a really good question that when you were sweating about me, the questions I was going to ask you, this is a really good question. And I just thought of it. I didn't include this one on the list of questions I was going to ask. So how many locomotive engineers are you going to have on standby so that you can continually move these locomotives?
There'll be, I'm not sure how many of ours are going to be there. We've got a number of licensed engineers, though, so they'll be moving the engines. And some of the railroads are sending in engineers that will be able to operate under the supervision of our engineers. So I don't know the answer of the number of engineers, but a number of people will be helping us out with that.
But that was a pretty safe question, don't you think?
Yeah, because it's they're all coming, from different railroads, and then we'll have our people that'll be supervising them.
Okay, I think this is also a good question. You have 3 miles of track, right?
Mm-hmm.
And a roundhouse. So, pardon my ignorance, but why would you need one of your museum engineers to supervise a real engineer? Not that your guys aren't real engineers, but I'm assuming these guys that have driven these locomotives from all points of the U.S. could probably handle going up and down a 3 mile stretch of track.
Because we have to have a pilot on there because the characteristics of our track, it'd be like us going anywhere else. If, say we went and took an engineer to another museum railroad, that museum railroad would have to have a pilot on board that would tell that engineer who's actually operating the locomotive, you need to slow down to 5 miles per hour here, or you need to do,
I see.
Stop short of this or that kind of thing. And so it's like they have to be on board to guide that person. And the same kind of thing happened at Streamliners when a lot of the museums sent guest engineers to run their locomotives. We had to have one of our qualified people with them at all times.
Right. So kind of like Marcus installed this turnout, and we're not actually sure if it works, kind of thing.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, don't go across the Marcus turnout. It's probably not right.
How much is the tickets for this thing?
So they are at $40 plus tax and ticket fee for 1 day for adults and $25 for kids. And then we go, we have a 2 day and a 3 day pass. And the price actually goes down a little bit for a 2 day pass and a 3 day pass. So you're not paying that $40 per day. It's actually reduced a little bit each day. So, and we have had people buy 3 day passes to be there to see all the different things that happen throughout the event.
And so so it's $40 plus how much tax?
Boy, you're going to have me do some math. 7%. So
I'm on the event page. You should be on the event page. I'm trying to help you out here, buddy.
Well, that's $450 handling fee plus tax.
Oh, so, plus tax.
Yeah, there's a ticket handling fee.
So do you get the handling? I'm guessing you get the handling fee, do you?
We pay the handling. The handling fee is what we. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The handling fee is so the ticket company can handle the tickets for us.
Oh, you hired a company, an outside party to do buying and selling.
Yeah, we would never be able to sell all the tickets that we sell throughout the year without.
Okay,
without a ticketing company to do it.
Okay, so this is a ticketing company that works with you constantly to do that end of the process for people that come buy their tickets online and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, cool. And how many?
Because you don't want me sitting there taking 90,000 ticket orders for Polar Express, for example.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, I was wondering what the capacity is. How many people can you hold?
We haven't set a maximum capacity for a daytime for the daytime, and we've had for like a fire truck festival there, which is basically our biggest event for like a biggest 1 day event. We've had over 6,000 people there, and it's crowded, but it's not overwhelmingly crowded. And we haven't gotten near that for a 1 day admission yet, or for one specific day. The night photo shoots we did set a limit at because one, having a lot of people walking around the site after dark is a little challenging, and then two, you want everybody to be able to have a good angle for those night photos that they've paid so much to be able to do without having people in their pictures.
So what's your job going to be on this weekend?
So I think I'm mostly going to be doing the what I did for my volunteer work, which is the MC for the locomotives when they come on the turntable and talking about what's happening next for the event and so forth. But in addition to that, if there's any kind of trouble or anything to go, things troubleshooting type things for me to take care of.
Okay, so you're like
you definitely have a voice for radio and that kind of thing.
Well, thank you.
I can see why they want you to do it.
Yeah, I hope you didn't say to them, well, I'm not sure what we'll talk about. You can't be saying that kind of stuff. You got to get up there. And,
what am I going to talk about?
Yeah, you got to get up. So okay,
it's a train. Whatever. Who
Yeah,
cares?
exactly. It's a yellow. Here comes the yellow.
White and blue.
Here comes the yellow one. Here comes the yellow one. This one.
Ladies, leave your number at the front desk.
And oddly enough, folks, all the locomotives are numbered 250.
There's a number of 1776s and a bunch of 250s too. That's right. Yep.
There you go.
A lot of 1776s.
Like it looks like Susquehanna has SD40-2. Is that correct? Is that what they're sending?
Yeah, I think it's SD40-2. Yeah, I think that's right.
So what's the length of the turntable?
It's 100 feet, I believe.
Okay, and what's the length of a more modern locomotive? Like
shorter than 100 feet.
Okay,
but yeah, I don't know what like an SD70M or something like that is, or a.
So that's never been a consideration. Like it's never really been. So why do you? Okay, well here's a really good question. Oh, Roger, let me know if this is a good question. Seth, let me know what you think on this question. Let's rate this question.
Building up.
Yeah, this is a really interesting question.
Let me get some pen and paper here.
Yeah, let's mark this one. Okay. So I'm assuming this is the original turntable for the Spencer shops?
It is, yes. Well, it's not the original, but it is the one that's been in there since 1924.
So it's the original pit.
Yeah.
Right. Why do you suppose that they built 100-foot long turn? Like that seems to me to be very forward thinking for somebody back in the late 1800s or whenever the pit was built to build the turntable that was 100 feet long, because here we are some 150 years later and the pit is and the turntable is long enough to handle the modern locomotives, which are considerably longer than a lot of locomotives were back then.
Well, but some of the longer steam locomotives with tenders were up to 100 feet long or close to it. In fact, we've had the NW 611 there before, and it barely fits on the turntable. So the original turntable at Spencer was a smaller turntable, but when they modernized in the 20s, they went to a bigger size turntable for longer engines. So something like the big boy won't fit on the turntable, but the 611 barely fit on the turntable. And according to AI, an ET44 AC is 74 feet 6 inches long. So we'll be fine.
Yeah, so modern day stuff. A lot of them seem to be, a lot of these, like the Wheeling on Lake Erie, it looks like an SD40-2 as well.
That is, yeah.
Wow. So do you have kind of like a rundown of all the, at this stage, a few days ahead, do you have a rundown of all the like how are you getting the information that, I'm very concerned about this, seeing this thing without some sort of notes or something to go by.
Oh, yeah, I'll have notes. By the time this airs, we should have, we should probably have the actual list, but some class ones have more than one. So we don't know the engine number for all of them yet, or which engine's being sent for all of them yet. We know the short lines or regional railroads that might just have one engine. It's pretty obvious which one's coming, but there's a number of railroads that we're waiting to find out which one they're sending.
And then what are you gonna do? Try to describe to people what kind of locomotive this is. It's so much horsepower, blah 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 blah.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna hopefully have the opportunity to share some stories about maybe how a paint scheme was developed. There's some interesting stories from the railroads that they'd like to share. Like maybe they had a designer do the locomotive paint scheme, and it might be based on, for example, the Santa Fe or the BNSF one is based on the Santa Fe one that was done on the SD45-2 for 1976. So they want to tell that story, and so there'll hopefully be some opportunities for the railroads to share that information, whether they give that to me to share or if I hand them the microphone and they talk about it one way or the other.
Do you think it'll be a rep? Go ahead,
So
Roger.
all 30 of these are going to be like freshly painted for the 250 celebration?
Yeah, they've all been painted since. Well, I think the first one that came out was the Wheeling and Lake Erie, which was late last year. I think that it came out. It seems like they were the first to at least publicize that there was one painted. So everything else has been painted since then. And in fact, the R.J. Corman one that's coming, or should be coming, just got painted like in the last week or so.
Don't touch it. Paint.
So
right.
would it take you the full
Right.
3-day pass to see all of these? And also, they're going to be moving around. Like I kind of thought it was just going to be sort of static display.
So
they're actually going to move around.
They'll be moved around to be regrouped for different photo angles on that. So someone with a 1-day pass should be able to see all the engines for sure.
Oh, cool.
But someone with a 3-day pass might see, these Class 1 engines together, and then maybe see, I don't know, I'm just making this up because like the Wheeling and Lake Erie one's paint scheme is based on the Norfolk and Western SD45 scheme from 1976. Say we put those two together and people get pictures of that kind of thing. So that some of those things won't happen every day. So it's going to just, every day will be a little bit different.
Neat.
Nice. But you should see, everybody should get to see every engine for sure.
So who's going to be in charge of, like you say, the locomotives are going to be moved around? That sounds like a lot of, like, do you have somebody, is there 2 or 3 guys in charge of it, or people, men and women, or like who's going to be in charge of all the logistics of moving these locomotives around?
We have a vice president of rail operations who is also the train master for the museum, and he'll be the one that'll be calling the shots of what gets moved where and who moves when, almost acting as kind of like a dispatcher, I guess, and just telling them where we're going to position these engines and when we're going to move them into different places.
Okay. And then you'll just, so are you going to be emceeing this thing? Like, is it a certain time that you're going to be, have a microphone in hand, and like at 1 o'clock, they're going to start rolling out the locomotives and you're going to do a little number?
We learned at the very first one that we did like this, not to put out a specific schedule of times because things happen. The pace may be changed for some reason. For example, there might be a dignitary that wants to speak with all of the locomotives together in front of the roundhouse. And, if we publish a schedule that says that's going to happen, we will say that's going to happen at a certain time. But if we were to say that we're going to running locomotives around at a certain time and that changes because of a programming need, we learned really, really soon the first time we did this that creates issues. People get really upset.
I can't imagine anybody would get upset, Marcus.
People get really upset if you say you're going to start moving engines at 10 o'clock and at 11 o'clock, they're still sitting in the same place because there's a very important person coming who wants to speak in front of that set of locomotives. And so you have to alter the schedule a little bit. So we will learn from that, not to publish things super specifically for times.
I'm just looking at the list of locomotives coming. It's very cool. Class 1 railroads, BNSF, Canadian National, Canadian Pacific, Kansas City. And I don't really care for that. CSX, Norfolk Southern, and Union Pacific. So 6 Class 1 railroads. I guess those are the 6 Class 1 railroads that run throughout North America.
Yeah, they're the only ones. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. And then Class 2, it's like the Aberdeen, Carolina, and Western Railway, which is just down the road, correct?
That's right. It's not too far, about an hour and a half from here.
And there's a lady that's in charge of that railroad, is there not?
Yes, she's the president of the railroad.
Yeah, we should get her on the podcast. Do you think she'll be at the big celebration?
I know they're sending people. I don't know if she's going to be there or not.
Are you going to be wearing your AML T-shirt the whole time?
I probably have to wear my North Carolina Transportation Museum T-shirt, but maybe I can put my AML button somewhere.
In your pocket.
Yeah. Whoa.
No.
Anybody that's listening, the AML Nation, you'll probably find me near the turntable somewhere. So come say hello.
Yeah, and take a selfie. We need to see
take a picture.
We need to see as many selfies with Marcus as we can.
No, you don't need to make them with me, but just show us that you're there.
Why not? Why can't I say that? That's not a bad idea.
You could, but
and if you have a sister that's available, bring her along.
I was going to say the first part sounded a little vain about take a picture with me, but yeah, if you have a sister, yeah,
well, it is, yeah. Well, it would be fun. So when are you going to go, Seth?
I'm going to go on Friday.
Yeah, that's the first day, are
It is.
And are you going to take a drone ride? A ride on the drone?
I don't have a drone.
Oh, okay.
I'm not allowed to play with those.
Yeah, exactly.
I have enough hobbies, my wife says.
And so then there's the Carolina Coastal Railroad. Where's that?
Eastern North Carolina. It's Raleigh and Points East. It's
Okay.
former Norfolk Southern Territory.
Well, it doesn't say Eastern.
Original.
It just says
Yeah,
Carolina Coastal. The
it's
CCR.
That's the part of the, well, actually, that's part of the original Norfolk Southern, which was a short line from Norfolk to Charlotte. So that's part of that. And then the Aberdeen Carolina Western operates on some of that original Norfolk Southern also. Not today's Norfolk Southern. It was the previous Norfolk Southern.
Yeah, well, and it's called the CCR. Do you think there'll be a bad moon rising?
There could be. I get what you're saying there.
Yeah. Do you get that, Doc? Did you get that one?
It was subtle, but it was there.
The Cincinnati Scenic Railway, the East Penn Railroad, the Florida Central Railroad. Oh, that's the fella I know. I got to contact him. I apologize. I got to get back on the stick and get a hold of.
I wonder if he's coming. I don't know who you talked to, but I wonder if that's the guy that's coming, because we do have somebody coming from them.
All right, hang on a minute. Let me see. See if I can figure out who it is. Well, you guys talk amongst yourself, and I'll see if I can figure out who it is. Because it was way back. I should have got his.
He's going to spend some time looking for that, and I don't have the list in front of me, so even if he says it, I'm not going to know for sure. But maybe it could be the same guy.
Well, yeah,
just humor him, and
I'm just talking amongst ourselves.
Yeah, humor me. Just humor me. I guess is that such a bad
elevator music?
Yeah, is that such a bad thing? It's in here somewhere. I'll find it. It's somewhere.
So is there going to be snacks available at this operating session?
Oh yeah, good question.
A 1-to-1 operating session, and there'll be food trucks. Quite a few food trucks. Some having snack food, some having full meals, some having warm bottled water.
Will there be Coca-Cola provided?
Oh my God, is that where we were headed with that?
Probably.
No Coke, Pepsi.
No Coke.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, cheeseburger. Matt Schwerin. SCHWERIN. I got to get him on the podcast.
Well, Matt, I hope you're coming.
Yeah, Matt, I hope you're coming, and say hi to Marcus for us. Tell
him Lionel sent you.
Tell him Lionel sent you.
Yeah, tell him Lionel sent you. Or say, why isn't Lionel talking to me? I got to get a hold of Matt. See, Matt invited me to come to the Florida Central Railroad, and we talked back and forth, and then it turned out he's part of the Regional Rail LLC, which owns several railroads. Florida Central, Florida Midland, Florida Northern, Port Manatee, Effingham Railroad, Illinois Western, Burns Harbor, Great Sandhills Railway in Alberta. And he's the vice president in charge of operations of all of these rails. 17 short lines. There is operations of 8 of regional rails, 17 short lines. So he's the vice wow, they have 17. Holy mackerel. So anyways, he invited me to come over and visit him at the Florida Central. And of course, I can't walk across the kitchen. So we talked about it, and I thought, I'll go. But then I was thinking, if I go, I'll be trying to score a ride on one of the locomotives, and then I can't actually even get on a step. So it was kind of, we never got past, hey, Matt, how you doing? And that's the end of that story. So your job, Marcus, is to really talk. If he introduces himself, make sure you really talk me up.
Okay, I will.
All right, perfect.
Another great short line that's coming. It would, and I'm thinking Derek needs to be coming. Is one of his Delaware Lackawanna locomotives is coming.
Oh, really? That'd be cool.
Their MLW is it an M630, number 1776.
Yeah.
I see the Morristown in late.
That'll be our only Alco. That'll be our only Alco at the site.
I think I saw
cool.
Yeah, I think I saw the picture of that one here. It's here. I think. Yeah, here it is. The Delaware Lackawanna, Spirit of Fredonia, Spirit of something, Spirit of Freedom. Fredonia. That's Fredonia, New York.
Sense. That makes sense in this case.
Yeah, Spirit of Freedom. Yeah, it's the only Alco. Yeah, there you go. And man, they've done a beautiful job on that paint job. Holy mackerel. So, you won't be available for podcasts those days then?
Friday, Saturday, and Sunday? No, probably not Thursday either. But
imagine doing a podcast from up on top of the turntable.
Oh yeah, that would be cool.
Announcing.
While it's spinning.
That's where we need to pivot to video.
Coming to you live.
So okay, so all these people that are all these railroads that are sending engineers, do you guys make help them with accommodations and stuff?
There's some stuff happening with some of the historic groups, I guess, that are coming, but I don't know that specifically. I think some of them are just traveling for business.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, like, so who is?
Oh yeah, like recommend where to stay and so forth. Sure.
Yeah, you're not just telling them to sleep in their car in their parking lot or nothing, or sleep on the locomotive or something.
Or stay at Marcus's house.
Yeah, stay at Marcus's house.
Special parking rates at Marcus's house.
Yeah. Don't get Chris Wayman involved about parking. Oh my God, he'll end up have another meltdown about that. Additional equipment: TTX semi. What's that word?
Semi-quincentennial
Boxcars.
Yeah, there's a 5-pack of those that'll be coming.
Do you have room for all this stuff?
We have a lot of room. It's gonna be interesting putting them all.
Has that question come up several times in the planning?
Yeah. Go big or go home, as we say.
Because it's not that big of a.
Just push them onto the main line. It'll be okay.
Like it's not that big of an area. Like the whole museum grounds is how many acres?
60 acres.
Yeah, I guess that's big enough to get a bunch of.
We'll make it work for sure. Yeah, the 5 boxcars are coming, and then there's an organization called Toy X that is bringing their Erie Lackawanna bay window caboose. We thought if we're going to have. At first, we had just locomotives, and then there were these freight cars coming. It was like, well, we got to find a red, white, and blue caboose too. So we did, and so this group out of Port Jervis, I think, New Jersey, is bringing their caboose.
So so I'm just my mind boggles at the logistics here, right? Because it seems to me that you're saying something's coming all the way from California. Well, that means it has to be like deadheading or whatever on a class 1, at least part of its trip, right? I mean, it's wild to think about, like, who's paying for this, or is this all out of the goodness of their heart and patriotism or whatever? And because if so, that's really impressive. It's
certainly not free. So that's
even a
there's a lot of money and a lot of logistics involved in doing this for sure. So
but all the class 1s had to be involved in it, right? I mean. Even if they didn't,
because like for the one you just mentioned, that Santa Fe is it came across BNSF to Norfolk Southern and onto it'll eventually get to us through our connection with Norfolk Southern,
and being like staged by Norfolk Southern nearby, right? That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, they're all coming in and then they'll be sent to us.
That's wild because the class 1s are not known for their
that's what I'm thinking,
charitability or whatever. So it's impressive. It's really impressive.
Well, don't be saying anything negative.
So Marcus.
Yeah.
I'm being nice.
I know you are, but Marcus considers, like, if you say your coffee's half empty, that's controversial.
Refill my cup.
Right.
So I have a question. Looking at the Google Earth view of the Transportation Museum, and I'm sure you guys had to figure this out for the Streamliners and also for the Norfolk Southern event. Is most of, or is all the equipment that's outside that you guys usually have day to day, is that all movable to make space? And where do you guys usually park that stuff at to make room?
A lot of it is, and we've had to do a lot of rearranging for sure. So that's been kind of the task of some of the rail crews here in the last couple of weeks, is to move things into tracks that won't be, well, not necessarily visible, but won't be needed for this event.
Right, because it's not like you can just pick them up and put them in their boxes and put them in storage.
Exactly. There's no jewel boxes for these cars.
Really?
Yeah. Wow.
So what day do you expect the locomotives to start arriving?
That's a question I can't answer. They may have already started arriving.
Okay, so you can't.
I don't have an exact date yet for that.
Okay, so and you can't answer that because you don't want people out in massive rail.
We'll have security, so that all the locomotives will be 24-hour security and all for that. So that's something we've got to kind of keep close to the hip. But we don't actually know the first date that they'll arrive.
So is the museum like fenced off? Is there a perimeter fence for the museum?
There is some, but it's not. It's very much a open site in a lot of ways. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you do about like you must have? There's going to be somebody there that gets too close to the locomotives. There's somebody because basically people can get as close to the locomotives as they want because they're not behind a fence or anything like that. So do you hire off-site security for the weekend so that you can kind of keep an eye on everybody if somebody starts climbing on a locomotive or something?
Yeah, we'll have a lot of staff and volunteers there, and we will have. We always hire off-duty police officers to help with our events for security. Yep. And that helps the town too. Well, it helps the people that they're off duty, so they get paid by us for their services, and those officers love working those kinds of things. Whether it's parking or it's extra money for them, so they do enjoy it.
Yeah, well, if it's places crawling with off-duty cops, it's probably just as well I don't go.
International crime.
You kill me, Marcus.
Those nefarious model railroaders.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, can you tell me the gauge of the track in the museum?
Yeah, it's 4 foot 8.5 inches.
It's about the width of 2 horses behind a chariot.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, exactly. About the width. Yeah. So, hey, Seth, are you going to take a selfie with Marcus?
I'll try if I can get close. He's probably going to have security around him, it sounds like.
By security detail.
And all those hot chicks.
He's going to have all the DuPont paint codes probably for all these locomotives. So he's going to have a lot of information, probably in a football briefcase type thing.
The DuPont paint codes. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
We'll sell them to you for $1.
Yeah. Okay. So Marcus, what are you the most excited about this upcoming weekend? Yeah, that's a good question. That's a good question. I'm just going to stop right there. What are you the most
question?
Yeah, what are you most excited about with this upcoming weekend?
I'm excited to see what it's going to look like with, we've seen the post. You all have seen the posters of all the heritage engines around and the streamliners. I'm excited to see what that's going to look like, and the hope that will be something that people will remember for a very long time. It's something that's never going to happen again. So it's an honor for us to have been asked to host something like this because we've been able to do it before. And I think I'm excited to see what I also like to see. I enjoy seeing what people do with their photography, because I'm not going to have a lot of time to take pictures. I'll probably snap a few cell phone pictures while I'm there, but I always enjoy after our events going online and going to, whether it's Facebook or Rail Pictures or whatever, and seeing what people do with create images with the equipment that we have. So I'm looking forward to seeing that. I'm looking forward to seeing a lot of people that I probably hadn't seen in a long time.
It sounds like it's geared towards photographing these locomotives, which is cool.
Yeah, it is. And we're trying to have opportunities for people to get their roster shots. I mean, that's one thing that happened at Streamliners and Heritage is, people stood out there, and as an engine pulled by, they'd snap a picture of it. And it was almost like a model railroad running these engines around for people to see them.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of trying to get at is, that must be kind of the exciting part. Running all these engines and it's like what Roger said in today's world of corporate, you don't get too close to it. It's, the corporate rules and regulations about everything and it seems like, again, the North Carolina Transportation Museum has managed to score a coup by getting all these locomotives together. And do you suppose it's because you guys have a really well working roundhouse and turntable? Why does it keep happening at what do you guys call it when you're at work? What's your acronym? What's your short form for the museum?
NCTM.
NCTM. I think
it's the largest roundhouse still in existence that's operating in North America. So, it's really the only place that you could probably get that many engines around together, grouped into a place where people could get to them and get pictures of them. And we've had, thankfully, we've had a good reputation of being able to pull off something like this in the past.
And it's a museum, so geared towards having having the public. Whereas, like, the CSX has a yard in Nashville, but you're trespassing if you get anywhere near it.
Yeah, that's like the 1975 picture that Trains published. It was in a rail yard. So, another cool thing about that picture is, so 2 of the locomotives that were in that picture will actually be at the museum for this event. And it's Norfolk and Western 1776 SD45 and a Milwaukee Road 206, I think was the engine number, SD40-2. Those 2 will be actually in the picture or, at the event. And there's a third one, the Santa Fe, that even though the 5701 was the one that was in that picture, this one is the 5704, which was one of 5 that were painted bicentennial back then. So it's like they'll be able to recreate at least a portion of that picture. Some of those engines don't exist anymore that are in that picture, but those 3 engines that were, 2 engines plus one that's the same engine model will be together again, which is cool.
That's the one thing about trains. I mean, going back full circle to the thing we always end up talking about, or at least the thing I always end up bringing up. I mean, it's the overall fascination that the general population has with trains, which is what always makes me think that this hobby's way bigger than anybody realizes. Because, I mean, there's just excitement about it, and there's a lot of work involved in getting this together, and it just seems like something that's people just love to do. It's just a something that people love to do. I just think that the hobby and the interest in railroading is far bigger than anybody imagines. Now,
yeah.
I'm going to ask you a really vague question.
Okay.
What is the how much does it cost for the BNSF? No, that's not it.
A lot.
Yeah. I like it a lot. There was a picture when the Streamliners were there. Somebody took it. I've actually got it on my wall on my office in Florida. And somebody had taken a picture, like kind of an aerial view of all the. It's a beautiful photo that I think is reasonably famous. I've seen it several times.
Mm-hmm.
Of all the locomotives. Like, do you have somebody, one person that's kind of in charge of the photography, or is it just a have at it? And if you happen to stumble onto a really good picture, you're going to be thrilled, or do you actually have some sort of organization about that?
Yeah, there'll be some media representatives that'll be there, including some folks that work with our marketing company that we work with that will take some official photos. But then, because that one there was a kind of official photo from the event. And they'll be able to do that. We're actually having a media day on Thursday. If you're a member of the media, you're welcome.
I have a podcast.
Hey, podcasts are media.
I have a podcast.
Right. Call Marcus.
So you have
a ticket.
Right. So media can come. They have to just fill out an application because they have to be. It's state property, and they have to complete a film permit in order for media or commercial use. So there'll be official photography that will be done, and then we're gonna have like a photo stage where people could get elevated above the crowd somewhat to take that picture. Not a high level aerial picture, but it did pretty well at Streamliners and Heritage, where you had an elevated stage to be able to at least get over people's heads to get some pictures of the engines.
I'm very disappointed that I can't go. Do you think that there's...
I'm disappointed you can't go too.
Yeah, me too. I'm like really disappointed because I'm thinking I would have a lot of fun because I know like one of the big shots at the museum, and I would, I'll have...
And Marcus.
And Marcus, yeah.
And me, right?
I don't suppose, is there any... Could you float this idea while everybody's gathered together there, and trains.com is there, and everybody's there that is important to organizing this thing? Could you possibly float the idea of doing a 251st celebration?
Sure. Yeah, maybe we could do that.
One better.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
50 plus one.
Yeah, it's one more. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You could just patch that number, 251.
Yeah. What a bummer. Oh, well. I bet you're looking forward to it, eh, Seth?
Yeah, I'm wondering if I should blow up my polar bear costume.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, jeez.
Advertise Polar
excellent idea.
Express. Walk around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think we have any rules against polar bears showing up. So
There will be after this.
right.
That's happened before.
What's the one thing What's the one thing you're looking forward to the most?
Who?
You? No. Well, yeah, you too, Seth. Okay, Seth. Let's start with you. What's the one thing you're looking forward to the most by going? What are you expecting? What are you hoping to see? What are you expecting? What's the one thing you're hoping to get from this, or are you just going to soak it all in and just be glad that you're there?
See friends.
Okay.
Thomas Patterson, Chris Chapin, Chuck Rockwell, they're coming.
No, I didn't know that.
Sean Carney's coming down from New York.
Oh, I didn't know all that.
Yeah, so there's going to be some friends that are going to be showing up.
I guess I've been excluded from all that.
It's been on the fans page. People have been commenting about coming.
I knew that.
It's not a private chat or anything. Not this time.
I knew that. I was just testing you.
Okay.
You know what time the open house is, right, Lionel?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go.
I did have somebody reach out and ask me if I was going to have an operating session while everyone was in town.
Oh,
I said,
yeah.
Are you kidding me?
That's great.
Are you kidding me?
So nice of you.
That would be not a bad idea.
Leave the key under the mat.
Yeah, great. Good thinking. Yeah.
You'll have all those engineers staying at your house. You must
That's
have an
right.
operating
They can all just come down here and run trains in my basement too, right?
They're parking their cars in your front yard. They got to do something while they're there.
Speaking of trains in my basement, one of our sponsors, Scale Trains, is going to be they're going to be making announcements at the event, which is going to be exciting. They've got a bunch of announcements coming out. So I think, most of the time that's done at like a train show, and this is not a train show, but it's a great event for this because I think some of those announcements are going to be for locomotives that are going to be there. So,
and the best part, the best part, if there's a particular locomotive you want to get that is produced in HO scale or any scale for that matter, you could just simply go to your what's it called? White Rose Hobbies. Yeah, whiterosehobbies.com and order it online from Tom and Ryan.
Yep.
I keep wanting to say Tim.
They have a Scale Trains account, don't they?
They do. I bought an SD40-2 there when we were on Comstock.
Okay,
cool.
And they're right there. Or if you're coming from the north and you're passing by, you could stop in there. They're in York, Pennsylvania, right there on the old Lincoln Highway, 4401 West Market Street. Just down the road. So
Tom and Ryan, it's probably because I started talking about our sponsors again that Lionel was triggered to remember to talk about our the podcast sponsors, right?
No, I was just saving it till the end because I just wanted to put it. Yeah, I just wanted to put it in the best place.
So Trains Magazine, Railroad Model Craftsman, White River Productions, Scale Trains, Virtual Railfan, Jack and Audrey Harris, who are big museum supporters. We would not be able to do this without some very generous support from those organizations, and not only financial support, but like logistics support that we've gotten through all this. So we are very grateful for that.
That's cool.
And the tickets are $44.50 plus tax for one day. $81. That's for adults. These are the adult prices. $81.50 for a 2-day pass. $117.75 for a 3-day pass. All passes include passenger train ride based on availability. Tickets do not guarantee a specific time. Seating will be on a first-come, first-served basis, sort of like rush seating. Wow, sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, Marcus. So, how did you think this went? Were you sweating all day, or?
No, not at all.
Okay. Did I manage to avoid all the list of things? Oh yeah, the one thing you didn't want me to talk about was your hydro bill. For your own personal home.
Hydro bill.
So for everybody that's out there, Marcus is always concerned that I'm going to ask some question that's the wrong question, and I finally said to him, surely by now you know that I'm not going to ask you anything. He said, no, I don't know that. I'm always worried about what you're going to say.
Just wringing my hands.
Yeah.
Right? So.
I think he was more nervous that Roger guy was going to be on the podcast.
Yeah, his potty mouth.
With his potty mouth, yeah. I haven't said that word once. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this is on the free channel. That's why it's sponsored by whiterosehobbies.com. You would imagine after all these years of having a podcast, I could remember to mention the sponsor right at the very start of the podcast.
We need Kelly.
We need Kelly. I think Derek didn't make it tonight because he's watching Back to the Future.
Oh, finally.
Yeah.
Really?
No.
No.
Don't get your hopes up.
Yeah. Dustin's not here. Kelly, we never heard from. Kelly, answer your text. Would it kill you to answer your text, Kelly? We're never going to hear from him again because he's going to be so tired from working that job was the Oregon or the Medford Town Council
Park or something, right?
Parks
Yeah,
guy.
and Marcus was really relying on him to do the groundskeeping, and
I know. I could have used Kelly's help yesterday.
Planting flowers, huh?
I was painting steps.
babies.
Okay, well that's an interesting question though. So do you guys have a full-time employee, a grounds guy, or is it kind of like that because the museum doesn't run on a shoestring budget, but it is a non-profit organization, so you only have a limited amount of funds. So for when you have these big events, is it kind of all hands on deck, whether you're a secretary or the director of administration? Is it kind of all hands on deck? Everybody get out there and start cleaning up?
Have your own Kelly.
The museum is a state operation, but then the nonprofit group that I work for, keeps that together. So I'm just saying it's two different organizations. So it is a state-run operation, and yes, there are facilities people that work at the museum. But for something like this, there was, we kind of went around and started looking at. We take the museum takes pride in its appearance, and looking at things like, well, it'd be nice if the yellow lines on those steps were a little bit brighter. If they look a little dingy. Like get these islands weeded out, get these plants, rearranged or whatever. So there was a list made of things that we could do, and knowing that the facilities people, who are 3 full-time people, I think, to do 60 acres, wouldn't have time to do it all, plus everything else that they would be normally doing. All hands on deck, from the executive director down to any part-timers. We were all out there doing something physical to get the place spruced up for the event.
Ripped out the yellow flowers and planted red, white, and blue flowers.
That's right. And if you've ever been involved or gone to an organization where the executive director or the top dog at the organization is, maybe not so involved, that is not the North Carolina Transportation Museum. Our executive director is completely involved in the museum, and it is all hands on deck, including her. So got to compliment her.
Yay for Kelly.
Yep, Kelly Alexander. She does an awesome job. So
okay, well there you go. So then, if you want to get your HO scale Athearn Genesis 250th anniversary locomotive, you could just go to whiterosehobbies.com. They're on Market Street, 4401 Market Street, just down the road from
that Ben Franklin RV Park.
Yeah.
Could you call them too, Lionel? 717-505-8676.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah, extension 42. And tell them
Lionel sent you.
Yeah, tell them Lionel sent you. See if that helps. And you can order
They'll hang up on you, but
Yeah, you can order your Walthers HO scale 250th anniversary locomotive. Wow. There's lots of scale 250th locomotives that you can buy, and they're all available.
There's a lot of it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they're all available at White Rose Hobbies, I'm sure. .com.
And they're right there on US Route 30 Market. And I grew up 250 miles ish west of there in Ohio on Route 30.
All right. On Route 30. You grew up on Route 30.
My hometown. Well, my hometown's on Route 30.
Okay.
Grew up on the Lincoln Highway?
That was it.
One of your hometowns?
And there are stretches of it now that are still brick, not the actual highway. They're up on the hills, the alternatives. But do you know that? There are people that travel around looking for brick highways.
There's a ton of brick streets in Orlando, downtown Orlando. A lot of the residential streets are brick streets.
Downtown of my hometown is brick.
There you go.
Still, to this day.
And what's your hometown?
Minerva, Ohio.
You know what you ought to do, Doc?
Uh-oh.
You ought to create a layout that recreates a lot of your childhood memories of the New York Central.
That'd be a good idea.
Yeah. That would be great.
Work on that.
If I can ever walk again, Doc, you are like at the top of the list. I'm not going to say you're first on the list, but you are very, very near the top of the list.
He'll actually get out of his car and come visit you.
Yeah.
He'll sit down the driveway blowing his horn instead of out on the highway.
I'm going to start blowing my horn when I'm on 485.
There you go. That must be Lionel going back.
Yeah, there you go. All right, that's it. We're done. That went pretty good, I think. I think we gave everybody a good sampling of what they could expect if they're going to the North Carolina Transportation Museum, which is two separate entities. What you have to understand is there's the foundation, and then there's the museum, which is state-run. And then there's the foundation, which is nonprofit, and then there's the museum, which is state-run.
That's right. And that's really not important to anybody that comes to visit. We're all one big team, but it's important for me to say I work for the foundation.
Right. And because I was so rudely interrupted there.
No, sorry. Yeah.
I was about to say, and when you walk onto the property, it will make no difference to you.
That's right. Well, really, from this public, we really don't want anybody to know that there's a difference. But
well, then quit saying it.
If I'm officially speaking, I have to speak for my organization, not the other organization.
Okay.
So
it sounds like it's analogous to, like, my wife is a public librarian, so she works for the municipality, but there's a library foundation which raises money and supports the library, but it's completely separate from, like, they're not paid by the city or the municipality. They're like their own thing. So it's a similar kind of thing, right? You're deeply entwined with it, but you're apart from it at the same time because of the whole money thing, right?
Yep, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
So
Money.
who gets the money from the tickets, the state or the foundation?
Both of us. Both of us. Yep.
And are you sharing it with the railroads? I mean, you don't have to say, but
no, it's a museum event. So
okay. So the railroads,
it is going to be, it is a costly event to put on. So, but it's going to be a great event.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it really does sound like the railroads are donating a lot of their time and transportation and all that sort of stuff to it.
Yeah, that's the fascinating. Cool. That's the fascinating part. Is really when we're talking about it is how much cooperation all of these railroads have, and how much, like what Roger was saying. Like, I mean, it used to be that they used to have great private rail car trains and all those sorts of things, and those days are gone. But it's fascinating to see how anxious so many railroads are wanting to be a part of this.
Yeah, it's excellent participation and coordination. But it's not free moves, which is different than in the past. But yes, for CSX or BNSF, they're chomping at the bit, and these class ones and these short line railroads. I mean, there's a lot of them are so excited about being a part of this, and they're even bringing PR people to hand out swag at tables. So they're going to advertise there. It's something that it's going to be really neat.
Okay, I'll send you a whole bag full of AML stickers, and you can hand them.
Okay, hand out some AML stickers. So I saw a picture today that somebody sent me of the CSX train that is bringing the 2 units to Charlotte, and then they'll come here. The crew is posed out front on the front of the engine with a big American flag. Just like they're excited about this. It's really neat. Even the crew that won't even probably be at the event because they just happen to have gotten the engines. They know where they were going. Those engines are going. They're really excited about it.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's very, very cool. So let me just finish up with one last question, which I'm sure you'll have no problem with. It's been sponsored by Trains Magazine, White River Productions, Scale Trains, Virtual Railfan, and Jack and Audrey Harris. Of those 5, which one is your favorite?
Wow, Lionel.
Yes.
All right, that's it. We're done. Well, you know what? You're kind of the guest tonight, Marcus. So, David, can you give out our email address?
Sure. If you'd like to reach us by email and send us your thoughts and opinions, or just let us know what you liked or disliked, you can reach us by... I'm trying to think of some L words.
Well, it's one L like the Bob Julian Roundhouse.
Ooh.
Wow.
That's deep cut.
Yeah, that was a good one. Wow. That was a good one. I just pulled that one right out of my butt.
You pulled it off the internet, I think.
Possibly.
You can email us at modelerslife@gmail.com. That's modelers with one L like Coca-Cola, not two L's like Alaska Railroad.
Ooh, sick burn. Take that, Derek. You missed all the fun.
And Alaska Railroad doesn't even have a semi-quincentennial locomotive, or else maybe it would come too. I don't guess they do.
And
that would be a journey, huh?
One other thing I wanted to talk about, our buddy Daniel Banks.
Yes.
Oh, my goodness gracious. Poor old Daniel. Daniel, we are so unhappy to hear of all the troubles and strife you're having because he lives in Anderson, Indiana, and the river, he lived 4 blocks away from the river, and it overflowed. It flooded so much that it made it to his house and flooded out his basement and his shed and all kinds of stuff. So, Daniel, we are feeling for you, buddy.
Tough stretch of life for you, Daniel. Hang in there.
Yeah, water is horrible. And, I don't know if it's an act, but he really puts on a positive face.
Incredibly positive.
Yeah. Very positive.
So, yeah, you got to give it. That's the thing.
That's great.
Yeah, it is. And we feel bad. I'm sure that if you want to stay the weekend at Marcus's place, that's not a problem.
Yeah, I can invite him now.
He won't be there.
Yeah.
I won't be here, right? So
yeah, exactly. You won't be there. Yeah, so you could rent the place out for the weekend.
But Roger still won't let you over.
I feel bad, but hey,
man, that was bad.
One of these days. Hey, life's complicated.
Yeah, I actually was watching the evening news, and Anderson, Indiana, was on the news.
Today's show.
News. Yep.
Today's show in the morning, live from Anderson, Indiana.
Yeah, they really got bad, and the river just flooded. Well, and of course, many thousands of people were severely affected, and we feel bad for all those people, but especially our buddy Daniel Banks. The river kept rising and rising, and I did really good. In our little group chats and texting chats and all that. I desperately at some point wanted to go, how high's the water, Mama? 3 feet high and rising. But it didn't seem to me that it was the appropriate time for levity. It still doesn't seem like it. Like, I wish we could help. How can we help, Daniel? Daniel, tell us how we can help. We want to help. Anyways.
You know what they say? If Jim Cantori shows up, the shit's about to get real.
Yeah, don't be hanging around. That's right.
Yeah, we love you, Daniel. Like if you were passed out on the floor and I was getting another beer, I'd be careful not to kick you in the head kind of way.
God.
In a platonic way.
Yeah, in a platonic way. Exactly. So anyways, if you didn't catch that email address, if you go to our website, amodelerslife.com, and scroll down just a little bit, there's a widget there. And you can just click on that and fill out your text and your title, and boom, off it goes. Hit send, and away it goes. And then if you enjoyed this...
And we know how to find them now.
And we know how to find them, and we got one today. We actually got one today. Well, actually, we got a couple today, so that was cool.
Yeah.
Let's see, who did we get one today from? We got it somewhere. And Doug Alexander commented on our last post. We got it. Let me see. Don't tell me. Oh, there it is. There it is. When it came in, it was submitted by Rick Watson. So there you go. The president of the OPSIG. Oh, okay, cool. Because we want to get him on. We want to get the OPSIG guys on here. Excellent. And also somebody says, do you feel like you're getting the full value from your website? If you just send, and then I get tons of, we'll edit your podcast. Click here for prices.
Yeah, don't click those links.
No, don't click those links. So anyways, if you enjoyed this podcast on our free channel, which is sponsored by whiterosehobbies.com, I think I'll put something on the start of the podcast. I'll just do, what we need is an actual commercial that I could just plug in. That's what we need, a professional commercial. Marcus, you got a radio sound and voice. Do up a little commercial for us.
Do up a little White Rose Hobbies commercial, okay?
Yeah, there you go. And if you like this podcast and you want to have twice as much podcasting, just for a few cents a day, you can join our Patreon channel. And for a few more cents a day, you can join our T-shirt level and someday get a T-shirt. And that's it. I'm going to go now. And I think we're finished.
Okay.
Have we covered everything? I think we have. See, it's an hour and 25 minutes. See, Marcus, you were worried that we were going to be able to cover 10 minutes, and we did. We talked and talked and talked and didn't cover one subject that was off limits. I don't even think I really asked you an off limits question, did I? Oh, yeah, about how the locomotives were getting into how you were getting the locomotives into Spencer shops. You didn't want to talk about that because then you would be worried that there's all kinds of rail fans lining the streets and stuff like that, which makes a lot of sense.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Got to watch over these things.
Yeah. Well, sure.
Well, you knew when you asked a question that he wasn't going to answer.
No,
right?
no. Yeah. I felt like that was a softball question because I wouldn't have thought that if they advertise, okay, we're going to start moving the engines on Monday or Tuesday or whatever day they start moving the engines, like, yeah, there would be a lot of rail fans swarming around trying to get pictures and all that stuff. And you
wouldn't believe the number of people that have reached out wanting to know, when are you going to start moving them? Where are they at now? How can I see them before the event starts?
You can't be just giving that out.
Yeah.
But so I assume you have like a direct connection to Norfolk Southern?
Yeah, we do. Yep. We connected at the what's called the old Spencer Yard, which was the division point yard when the facility was built. So yeah, there's a connection both ends actually.
2 connections.
So we can run out either. We can be serviced out of either end of the property.
If we ever brought Doc's speeder down there, do you think we could just run it down onto the Norfolk Southern and have at it?
If you want to shut us down, sure.
There's a yellow tie that we have to stop at.
But he certainly has run his speeder around the site quite a bit.
Oh, has he?
We entertain
Is that
the
right?
speeders. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. We have. So Seth is involved in this could another whole podcast.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. That'll be the speeder podcast.
Yeah. But yes, we entertain. We have certain events that we allow speeders to run.
And is it a secret?
No.
Well, then why didn't you ever tell us?
Well, I think I've
asked.
seen some Facebook posts along those lines. Now that I think about it.
All right.
It's out there.
Okay.
So, does the North Carolina Transportation Museum have a like loop of tracks, so like you can run like out and back kind of thing, or
so it's
again,
not a
I could
loop,
probably
it's
look
actually,
at a map. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a loop. There's different leads that were there from the days that it was actually a locomotive servicing facility, and they connect at both ends, so we can make a circuit around the site, but it's like an out one way, back up, and then you use 2 different tracks to do it. So it's not a circle, it's not a loop, but it's kind of an out and back thing. So say single track on each end and kind of a widespread double track through the site almost, where one's on the east side and one's on the west side of the property, roughly.
And you said it's about 3 miles of track.
It's about a 3-mile run when the whole circuit is about 3 miles.
You could ask these questions earlier on in the podcast, eh?
Right.
Well, I think he mentioned that before. I was just kind of trying to. Anyway, I thought we were still recording. What?
We are, so we could have been asking these questions earlier. All right, that's it. We're done now. All right, Marcus. Marcus, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, so remember, A Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10
drone flyers.
It's another Lincoln Homer.
drone flyers.
That was kind of weak. That was kind of weak.
that crashed.
Oh, my drone flew into the trees. Ah, damn.
Did you mean like flyers that you get in the mail?
No, yeah, drone pilots. Drone pilots.
Drone pilots. Oh, okay. Drone
The ones in
pilots.
Philadelphia.
Maybe we should try that again.
Yeah, let's try that again. Give us your best. I'll just edit it in.
Oh, okay. America 250 locomotive engineers.
Okay, so did you notice there, Marcus?
That's my name. Hello.
Did you notice there at the end when you wanted to do a redo on the remember thing?
Yeah.
And you did a redo, and you said, "Hey, we'll edit it in," and we didn't.
Yeah, I noticed. And I kind of knew that even though I said, could you please edit that out, that it would not happen. So
No. But we left them both in. So people did find out that you saved it. You did have a better one.
yeah, what a boring one I started with. I'm
I
like,
know.
drone pilot. What?
Yeah.
I think I was kind of going on like a drone flight because you had asked me about flying, or you were going to take a drone flight. I don't know. My mind was on that. I got messed up.
Well, you know
that
what?
6 out of thing always throws me off. 6 out of 10 thing always throws me off.
Yeah. And well, you know what? This thing is a lot of work. Like I know that I can tell that this 250 thing is a lot of work. Like it's a lot of preparation. It's a lot of like we're recording this a few days ahead. And I can tell already you're getting not flustered, but there's a lot to do and a lot to remember and a lot like you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and go, oh yeah, I got to do X, or oh yeah, I got to do Y.
Yeah. There is. And today, for example, as we record this, we spent from 10 o'clock this morning until 5 o'clock this afternoon, with the exception of taking a little bit for lunch. 3 of us sat down and we sat down together in our executive director's office with our laptops, going over proofreading the map, proofreading, sponsor lists and participant lists, and not really schedule, but like shuttle buses to the parking areas, information for the press, all kinds of things. We sat and we went over a list for our facilities team of what needed to be placed where for the whole event, because there's lots of that to do. Instructions for the staff, a staffing schedule. We just had to finally sit down and crunch the whole day of just doing nothing but that. And instead of, me being in my office doing that and calling somebody and getting an answer, we all just sat together and did it. And then we started calling people in of, hey, we got a question for Tyler, or we got a question for Elaine, or whatever. And we'd call them to the office so we could talk to them about their thing and then send them on their way. So it's a lot of coordination.
How many staff is there for the foundation? Because the museum is actually owned by the state.
Right.
But there's a foundation that runs the museum.
So full-time now, I think we are at 10 full-time employees for the foundation and about the same for the museum. And then we have a lot of part-timers and plenty of volunteers.
So
lots and lots of very helpful volunteers. But
right. And what's the difference between the foundation employees and are the museum employees are they employed by the state?
They are, yeah. The state of North Carolina. Yep, that's correct.
So the state of North Carolina owns the property and the museum, and I'm assuming all the things like the cars and the locomotives and stuff.
No, they don't own the car. Well, they own some of the collection of items that are on display and a limited amount of the railroad rolling stock. But they generally, for the most part, don't own the stuff, the railroad rolling stock that operates and people ride, like riding the trains and stuff like that.
So is that owned by the foundation? Yeah.
So the foundation owns the locomotives and the rail cars primarily that people ride on. Now there might be like for example, we have an Atlantic Coastline E3 that was built in 1949. It's like the highest traveled diesel in history, 6 million miles. It is owned by the state of North Carolina, but it's not often used for any operations. We can request for it to be used, maybe for a special event or something, but it's not something that's regularly operated. The foundation takes the responsibility of owning and maintaining the equipment that people, see moving around or ride on.
So can I ask you an honest question?
Sure.
So did it take you years to try to understand the difference between the foundation and the museum, or am I just stupid?
It's something we try not to really talk a lot about on the outside because it doesn't really matter when a visitor comes to the museum, they're just coming to the museum. They don't need to know. People don't know who works there. People don't know who volunteers there. I've been asked, am I a volunteer? I say, no, I work here. And then then people will say, well, is that a retirement, full-time or part-time retirement job or something? I go, oh, no, it's a full-time job. But yeah, we try not to really, play that up that there's a difference, but there is a difference, and it can be hard. Sometimes we have to go looking through the equipment and say, well, does the foundation own this piece or does the state own this piece, so we can know, who might have to work on it or, pay for repair to it or whatever. So it can be complicated. Yes.
So can I ask you another question? Hopefully you get an honest answer.
Okay.
So were you like the first person to ever work full time for the foundation? Because when you got there, the museum wanted to hire you, and the state went, "Yeah, he's not working for us." So then
not working for you, not working for the state. That's right.
Yeah. And then so they started a foundation just to accommodate.
Right. Yeah. Just for me. Right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's grown from there. All right. So okay, let's mention these sponsors once again because this is as big a deal as 2012. What happened in 2012?
That was the Norfolk Southern Heritage event, 30th anniversary. And then 2014 was the Streamliners Expenser, which was bigger, even bigger. And this is
the 250th Locomotive Celebration.
And I think our attendance, we could really get surprised, but I think our attendance may be somewhere in between those two because the Heritage event, we had about 6 weeks to get ready for. The museum did. I didn't work there at the time. I was a volunteer. That was Heritage. Streamliners was months and months of time for ticket sales and all that, and this has been another quick 6 weeks or so, but we're selling tickets really well, so we could really surprise ourselves and have a very big crowd there, which we already do have a big crowd. It's just it'll be somewhere in between, I think, the two events, but could be bigger than both.
Are you going to take mental notes so we can do a debriefing?
Yeah, I will.
All right. And don't forget, everybody, if you get a selfie with Marcus, he'll give you $1.
Right.
He's going to be walking around with a pocket full of dollars. All right. So who are these sponsors?
So presenting sponsors, they're the ones that we've been working with from the very beginning to get everything set up, was Trains Magazine, White River Productions, Scale Trains, Virtual Railfan, and Jack and Audrey Harris, who are museum supporters. Also Visit Rowan County, as the Rowan County Tourism Development Authority has been involved. And then more recently, we picked up sponsors Berkshire Station, which is a hobby shop and producer of custom models in North Carolina, MTH, Electric Trains, and Walthers. And they've been added as additional sponsors, and we appreciate all of their contributions and generosity too, and look forward to a great event.
And if you're looking for Berkshire Station, you just type Berkshire Station in Google, BERKSHIRE station.com, and boom, there you are. There you are. And there it is. And they have that's a cool little train store they got there.
Yeah, they are our, when we do our train show in May at the museum, Berkshire Station, let's see, I think I got this right. They have been the largest vendor that we've had in the number of tables that they've bought. They bring a lot of merchandise to these events because they, in addition to having new products that they sell in their store, they get a lot of collections and different things too that they sell. So they bring a lot.
And when you can't get what you need at Berkshire Station, what do?
You're going to jump on the internet, or you're going to jump on the Lincoln Highway, and you're going to go to White Rose Hobbies in York, Pennsylvania.
Just down the road from the Ben Franklin RV Park. All right, I think we've beat this to death. We've now almost made this a 2-hour podcast, which we're trying to get into shorter ones, and this is like a long one, but that's okay. It's very interesting. I find, and I'm very, very excited to talk to you about it afterwards. We're going to do another podcast about it afterwards because I think, it's pretty cool. They had the 212 event and the 14 event with the Streamliners, and now they're having the 250th locomotive gathering with over 30 locomotives from across the continent. There's going to even be CP and CN locomotives there, which to me just sounds... I'm fascinated to hear the stories afterwards of what you can say and about the logistics. The logistics of the whole thing. It's going to be interesting to hear.
It's fun watching on the Facebook groups, all the different Railfan Facebook groups. You'll see engines coming our way. And there's as we talk right now, there's a Florida East Coast one that's within about 100 miles of here headed this way. There's for Derek. Derek needs to come up and visit us because it's the Delaware Lackawanna M420, M430 Alco type locomotive, Milwaukee. No, not Milwaukee, Montreal Locomotive Works. It's nearby, and several others are closing in on us, and that's just neat to watch them all move.
Yeah, and I know with Derek, he was driving from Nags Head to Chattanooga, and about halfway along, he turned to his wife and he says, "When we hit 88 miles an hour, you're going to see some serious poop." That's it. We're done. I think we did a good job filling in for all the sponsors, giving everybody a shout out for the thousands, the tens of thousands of people that listen to this podcast. I think we've managed to cover it all. But now, how do we end this? Okay, smart guy.
Uh-oh.
How do we end this? Now you've now you've really jammed yourself into a corner.
I'm stumped because we've already 6 out of 10. That I messed that up twice.
Yeah.
Well, I did okay the second time.
The second time was good. I think we go for the trifecta, and now you've messed it up. You saved it. We didn't edit it in, and now this is your opportunity to really take this puppy home.
Whew, stress. Okay.
All right. So remember, A Modeler's Life podcast is considered marginally adequate by 6 out of 10.
Stressed out event planners.
That's not bad. That was okay. Stressed out event planners. You're a stressed out event planner.
I'm not stressed out really, but
you are so.
Some days
You are.
Some days it's stressed.
Yeah, you are so. You are stressed. Don't give me that kahooey. You are stressed. You're just one of those. You're not stressed. You're not one of those guys that's stressed and you're lighting, you're chain smoking, but you take everything very. If your name is on it, you want it to be done right. That's the way I see you.
That's right. I would say that.
Yeah.